So what is going on, guys? It is the Retro Review here, coming back to you guys with another video. And finally, consistent uploads are here. And as you can tell by either here, or if you manage to look in, to find the secret in my teaser trailer, the game I will be reviewing today on the Nintendo 64 is Banjo-Kazooie. Banjo-Kazooie is a really great game, and it focuses on three things. The gameplay, the controls, and the art. Banjo-Kazooie's art was very impressive at the time, and it still impresses people today. So we might as well go over a few things before we get into this review. Every weekend there should hopefully be an upload, unless otherwise mentioned in the channel, and there will be more games sort of coming along in this series, not N64, just any game in a weekly series that will have no title yet. If you guys have a good title suggestion, make sure to comment down below. But without further ado, let's get into the review of Banjo-Kazooie. To begin, the story is a bit quirky. Gruntilda, the evil witch, who has a massive lair in Spiral Mountain, wants to steal Tootie, Banjo's little sister, and steal her beauty, using a big machine. One day, when Banjo and Kazooie wake up, they ask Bottles what's going on, and Bottles is a mole that helps teach you the moves throughout the game, which I'll get onto later. And Tootie has gone missing, and so they have to go on a quest to find Tootie. A very quirky story, but it's something Rare was good at, especially in the Nintendo 64 era. Now let's move on to the gameplay. The gameplay is really solid with hardly any bugs on the N64, and most of those are fixed in the Xbox Live Arcade Edition on, of course, Xbox 360 and Xbox One. But there's a few minor problems that weren't fixed. Some of the controls are a bit in place, like using the Talon Trot to run around everywhere is really fun, but sometimes it can be quite annoying to remember how to activate them. They weren't working on a lot with the Nintendo 64 controller, but I, and along with many others, admire their effort, and they managed to do very well. The gameplay consists around going around worlds in a collectathon type game, collecting notes and jiggies, and you use both these notes and jiggies to get into other worlds to do, guess what, collect more notes and jiggies, so you can finally thwart the evil witch Gruntilda. There are a total of 10 worlds in the game. Gruntilda's Lair, I guess the hub world, Mumbo's Mountain, Treasure Trove Cove, Clanker's Cavern, Bubblegloop Swamp, and that's just a few. There's even more, like my favorite world in this game, Mad Monster Mansion, the spooky level, or Gobi's Valley with all of the quicksand. Every world in Banjo-Kazooie is memorable, and people love it for that, and so do I. So, it's more of a collectathon, world-based game. Now, we've covered the controls and the gameplay, let's move on to the graphics. The graphics are stunning in every world, from the nice welcome place called Mumbo's Mountain, to the hectic Gruntilda's Lair trying to find all the secret jiggies, or the calm and peaceful Quick Quack Wood. Everything is great, and there is really nothing wrong with the art style. Every world is unique and new, and there's colors everywhere, even in the gloomiest situations. Rareware did a really good job on the graphics in this game. So, each world, well, it's time to go over a few more minor things. Something that's really great is each world has its very own switch that you hit to summon a jiggy in the Gruntilda hub world, Gruntilda's Lair. I found that a really great touch to Banjo-Kazooie, and not many other games have done something like that. It's a really good sort of, a really good asset. It makes the game much more fun to 100%, and everything is different every time you play it. But not really. It seems different. A personal highlight of Banjo-Kazooie was just getting into playing it. The first time I played Mumbo's Mountain on this N64, way back in 2016, it was like opening up a new portal for me. This game is what got me into old video gaming, and here I am now, about 2 years later from starting this channel, covering this game. There are also a lot of other great things about Banjo-Kazooie, such as the moves taught to you by Bottles. Bottles does a really great job at teaching these moves, and if you need any help, you can just go back and find him. Spiral Mountain is also a really good opening level and will teach you the ins and outs of this amazing game. Also, as you see on the screen, this orange fellow with feathers out of his head is Mumbo, and he will transform you into other creatures, such as a tick in Mumbo's Mountain, or a pumpkin in Mad Monster Mansion. These will help you get other jiggies that can't be accessed unless you find these more collectibles, Mumbo skulls, and trade them into Mumbo to transform. It's a really neat gimmick, and it was expanded on in Banjo Tooie as well, with Wumpa, but that's another game. We're focusing on Banjo-Kazooie. One thing that I think the game flaws in is the boss fights. There aren't many of them, but the Gruntilda finale is an amazing boss fight. I really like the giant ape/orangutan sort of thing in the first world that helps you sort of get into boss fights. And then the unforgiving yet really, really fun crab in the second world, Treasure Trove Cove. Every boss, even though it seems bland, is unique and interesting, and that's something not many games can boast. What's also great about Banjo-Kazooie is every world is distinct, unique, and there's not just open worlds for the sake of there being open worlds. Every nook and cranny of these worlds, you can explore and find new things. Each enemy has their own weaknesses and resistances, and it's always fun trying to work out what enemies like what. Another personal highlight of Banjo-Kazooie for me would be, the first time I played this game, I was dying quite a lot in Clanker's Cavern. I was thinking, hang on a minute, I have hardly any health. Where are all my lives? And I was getting game overs quite a lot. My note scores were only around 60. Until then, I remembered in Spiral Mountain, those sort of like honeycomb pieces. Those things are very, very helpful. And if you beat a world, there is still so much to explore. All the honeycomb pieces are unique, and they're tough to find too. Mumbo's Mountain, personally, took me a long time to find the 2 honeycombs. Banjo-Kazooie, its health gimmick, its collectathon gimmick, it does absolutely everything perfectly. And some people even refer to this as one of the best collectathons in video gaming history. And this game was made in 1999, I think. Rareware did a really good job on this, and it's a shame that Microsoft bought Rareware. So many amazing things could happen with the Banjo-Kazooie series. Nuts and bolts, it wasn't really my favorite game, but Banjo-Tooie was great, and I'll be covering that soon on this channel. Thanks for watching this first episode, and shortest episode, of my weekly retro reviewing series. If you guys want to see more, smash the like button and comment down below what games you want. The first game comment I'll review in the next week or 2. But I've got a few plans for the next weeks. So until then, keep on gaming, and I'll see you around. Retro Reviewer out. Bye!